Okay, what's your name?
Violet Tremaine.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 actors who have played multiple roles on Law & Order SVU.
Anything else? He was hoping for an Oscar, but he's not in show business.
For this list, we're looking at actors who've made at least 2 appearances on the show, playing different characters each time. Which of these multi-role actors was the biggest surprise? Leave us a comment below. Number 10, Gloria Reuben.
You sure you can do this? Yes.
Gloria Reuben came to most people's attention in the 90s playing the physician assistant Jeannie Boulay on ER, a role that earned her a multitude of awards and nominations. Speaking of multitudes, while she didn't garner any nominations for her performances on Law & Order SVU, she did play more than one character. In her first appearance on the show in 2002, we saw Reuben as Violet Tremaine, the mother of a kidnapped child.
She might be my little girl. She looks just like my Nina.
Then, half a decade later, in season 9, she was back on the show, this time playing Christine Danielson, the homicide bureau chief working for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
Nice booty.
Oh, yeah? Watch it kick your ass.
This would be a role she returned to 2 more times later in season 12.
Well, Chris, just help us out.
Give me your 10.
Number 9, Dominic Fumusa.
You're gonna have us arrested?
Dominic Fumusa appeared in 5 episodes of SVU, and no matter which of them you've seen, you'd say he played a cop. You'd be right, of course. However, the name of that officer would change depending on the episode. Let us explain. Fumusa made his acting debut playing Detective Lopez in the 8th episode titled Stalked. He would return 2 years later as Lieutenant Coates in season 2, and then way down the line in the season 10 episode PTSD as yet another lieutenant.
I'm not pressing charges, okay? So don't waste your time. I don't want to get Prue in any more trouble.
A few years after that was when he finally got a recurring character role, Captain Jason Harris in 2 episodes of season 13.
You have to find my daughter.
Number 8, John Doman. If you thought Dominic Fumusa playing 4 different cops was a lot, allow us to introduce John Doman, a man who played 5 different characters on the series.
What do you think of the case?
Right there's the whole story, ONS.
ONS?
One night stand.
He was actually featured back-to-back in the first 3 seasons, all as different people. And that's just a small part of Doman's connection to the Law & Order Extended Universe.
I don't doubt it.
As some L&O superfans could tell you, by the time he showed up on Special Victims Unit in the year 2000, he'd already appeared on the original Law & Order 3 times as 3 different characters.
So what?
Doman would go on to play 2 more, not including his guest appearances in spin-offs Trial by Jury and Criminal Intent. This guy should have his own dum-dum whenever he walks into a room.
This is what the son of a bitch is asking for.
Number 7, Isaiah Whitlock Sr. For fans of The Wire, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. will always be Clay Davis, the corrupt state senator who had a thing for taking money and elongating his curse words.
Think I'm gonna be the scapegoat for the whole damn machine? She.
But to fans of Law & Order SVU, he will always be, well, we don't really know because he played so many different characters. Maybe it's Captain Reese, given that he was recurring. Or maybe it's one of his other one-off characters, including a robbery division captain and an NTCC representative.
There you go.
Should we even mention all of his other roles from the franchise? We'd be here a while if we did. Number 6, Peter Scannavino.
Your name's Carisi and you're pulling an Irish goodbye?
I didn't want anybody to make a fuss or anything.
If you take a look at Peter Scannavino's IMDb credits for Law & Order SVU, you will naturally see episode after episode with the credit for Dominic Carisi Jr.
I'm way experienced. Sensitive and moody too, and I can do that whole empathy thing.
But if you're persistent enough to scroll down to the bottom, which we are, you'll find an episode from 2013 titled Monster's Legacy, where the character he played is listed as Johnny Dubček.
I don't know who you're talking about.
That's right. As some eagle-eyed SVU fans remember, Scannavino had a one-off role as a murder suspect in season 14 before his start as Carisi in season 16.
I don't want anyone to know. I don't want anyone to know.
Number 5, Kelly Giddish.
Got something. What? Could be blood.
Kelly Giddish made her debut as Detective Amanda Rollins on the SVU season 13 premiere in 2011.
Detective Benson? Amanda Rollins.
Transfer from Dallas, right?
Yeah, well, Atlanta.
But as it turns out, her turn as Rollins was not the actress's first time interacting with the members of the elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. That actually happened 4 years earlier when Giddish made a guest appearance on the show as Kara Bosson, a victim of sexual assault. As she was giving Ice-T her statement in the show, little did she know that just a few years later, they would be in the same unit.
This the man that attacks you.
That's him.
Number 4. Diane Neal. Throughout the series run, Diane Neal played ADA Casey Novak in a handful of seasons.
You wave bye to all of your fans.
You made a deal.
And it's a masterpiece. How do you like my work?
However, before she started her run putting away criminals, she had a turn at being a criminal herself in the Season 3 episode Ridicule.
The receptionist said the police were looking for me. You the detectives?
Neal plays Amelia Chase, a woman convicted of assaulting a sex worker and killing one of her friends. Chase ends up being prosecuted by ADA Alexandra Cabot, the person whose job she would later take over in her role as Casey Novak. It seems the casting director had quite the sense of humor.
By the time I get out of prison, I'll be eligible for senior citizens discounts. If I take this to trial, you'll get life.
Number 3. Peyton List.
And there's this one thing he does that makes me so mad.
What's that?
He calls me olive oil.
If you were surprised to read that the girl who played Emma on the Disney Channel series Jessie was also featured in multiple roles on SVU, you should be, because it didn't happen. While that Peyton List has only made one appearance on the show, it's a different Peyton List who's shown up thrice.
I don't know what you mean.
List, who would go on to play Jane Siegel in Mad Men, actually made 2 SVU appearances in 2001 and 2003, and then again in 2017 to add one more to her SVU character List. Pun totally intended.
I thought I was different. I wasn't.
Number 2. Kyle MacLachlan.
You call me the second you get the bastard who murdered my son.
Actor Kyle MacLachlan was a special agent on Twin Peaks and the captain on How I Met Your Mother. In 2004, he was a doctor on Law & Order Special Victims Unit, a psychiatrist whose son is killed by the child next door.
I can't believe this.
After that, MacLachlan had a number of other roles, including a memorable 6-year run on the ABC hit show Desperate Housewives, a part he was still playing in 2011 when SVU called him back in. This time to play a U.S. ambassador with an awful son and a secret.
Tripp was an athlete. Everything he did, he was a star.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Hayden Panettiere.
Ashley, right? What are we hiding from?
In 2001, years before she started playing country music star Juliette Barnes on Nashville, Hayden Panettiere made her first appearance on SVU, fittingly as the young daughter of a country music star.
Do you know why you're here today? Do you know Detective Benson?
She used to be my friend.
Used to be?
I wanted to live with her. But she didn't want me.
In 2005, the year before Panettiere began her run as the high school cheerleader who couldn't be killed on Heroes, she played a killer high school student on another episode of SVU.
You dress up like that to do your homework?
Everyone dresses like this.
Both Law & Order appearances happened before Panettiere was a household name, so they might not have registered with fans as much then. They most definitely do now, though, given her star status all these years later.
It's not like I do this all the time.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.